My beloved child, I am bringing peace to your heart today. Yes, today. Not tomorrow when everything settles down. Not when the bills are paid, the relationships are fixed, where the answers finally arrive. I am speaking into this very moment, into the noise, into the confusion, into the quiet ache you have tried so hard to ignore. I see the storm inside you. You smile for others, but your thoughts have been racing like restless winds. You lie down at night, yet your mind refuses to rest. You replay conversations. You imagine worst-case outcomes. You carry questions you are too tired to even speak out loud. And sometimes, in the stillness, there is a heaviness in your chest that you cannot fully explain. My beloved child, how long have you been carrying this weight alone? You were never created to hold so much pressure inside your heart. Yet you have tried. You have tried to be strong. You have tried to solve everything. You have tried to stay composed while anxiety whispered that something is about to fall apart. You have tried to keep moving forward even when your soul felt exhausted. But I tell you now, this moment is different. Today is not just another day to survive. It is a day of divine interruption. A day where I step into the middle of your chaos and say, enough. A day where I gently place my hand over your racing heart and calm it with my presence. You may wonder, how can peace come when nothing around me has changed? That is the mystery you are about to experience. My peace does not wait for circumstances to behave. My peace does not depend on perfect conditions. It arrives because I speak it into existence. Imagine a restless sea suddenly feeling the command of its creator. The waves do not argue. They recognize my voice. In the same way, your thoughts, your fears, your trembling emotions, they will begin to recognize my authority. I am not asking you to fix yourself first. I am not demanding that you understand everything. I am simply inviting you to receive. Lean in, my beloved child. Let your shoulders drop. Take a slow breath. You are not abandoned in this struggle. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You are not failing because you feel fragile. You are human, and you are deeply loved. The storm has felt loud, but my voice is stronger. The fear has felt convincing, but my truth is deeper. The uncertainty has felt endless, but my peace is already moving toward you like dawn breaking after the longest night. This is your moment of divine calm. I am bringing peace to your heart today, a peace that will begin quietly, like a gentle whisper, and then settle deeply, like roots growing strong beneath the soil. You may not see it immediately, but you will feel it. A loosening, a softening, a sacred stillness where chaos once ruled. Stay with me. Do not turn away from this invitation. Peace is not distant from you. It is arriving now. My beloved child, I see the chaos you have been hiding. You have learned how to function while fractured. You wake up. You complete your responsibilities. You answer messages. You show up for others. And yet inside, there is a quiet trembling. You have become skilled at carrying storms behind calm eyes. But nothing about your inner struggle has escaped my sight. I have watched you sit in silence, staring at nothing, yet thinking about everything. I have seen the way your heart tightens when your phone lights up with certain names. I have felt the way your breathing shifts when uncertainty creeps into your thoughts. Even the worries you cannot put into words, I understand completely. You have asked yourself, why am I like this? Why can't I just be at peace? And sometimes you judge yourself for feeling anxious when others seem strong. But my beloved child, you are not broken because you feel deeply. You are not weak because you are overwhelmed. You are human, and your heart has been carrying more than it was meant to carry alone. There were moments when you felt you had to be the strong one, the responsible one, a steady one. You swallowed your fears so others would not worry. You silenced your pain so you would not be a burden. You convinced yourself that if you just tried harder, prayed harder, worked harder, you could quiet the noise on your own. But peace is not something you manufacture through effort. Peace is something I place within you. Let me tell you a story, my beloved child. Imagine a small boat caught in the middle of a wide ocean. The waves rise high, and the sky grows dark. The sailor grips the wheel tightly, trying to control the storm. His hands ache, his body trembles, and exhaustion begins to set in. What he does not see is that beneath the surface, deep below the crashing waves, the ocean is calm. The deeper waters are undisturbed. You have been living at the surface of your fears, trying to control every wave. But I am inviting you deeper. Beneath the noise, beneath the racing thoughts, beneath the endless what-ifs, there is a place inside you where my spirit rests undisturbed. That place has never been shaken. I see how you replay past mistakes. I see how regret tries to whisper that you should have known better, done better, chosen differently. But regret is not your ruler. I am. And I do not hold your past over your head. I hold your future in my hands. I see the pressure you feel about tomorrow, finances, relationships, decisions, responsibility. The weight of expectation sits heavy on your chest. You fear letting people down. You fear making the wrong move. You fear that one misstep could unravel everything. But my beloved child, you are not walking a tightrope alone. Even when you cannot see it, my hand is steadying you. Even when you feel uncertain, I am not uncertain about you. Nothing about your life is spiraling out of my control. The chaos you feel is loud, but it is not permanent. The confusion feels thick, but it is not final. I am not standing at a distance, observing you struggle. I'm close, closer than your next breath. When your thoughts race at night, I am there. When your heart pounds in moments of fear, I am there. When tears form in your eyes and you quickly wipe them away, I am there. You do not have to oppress me with strength. You do not have to hide your questions. You do not have to pretend you are unshaken. I already know the depths of your heart, and I do not turn away. In fact, I move closer. My peace begins with honesty. So let this be the moment you stop pretending that you are fine when you are not. Whisper your worries to me. Tell me what frightens you. Tell me what exhausts you. Tell me where it hurts. You are safe in my presence. The chaos you have been hiding does not scare me. It does not overwhelm me. It does not frustrate me. I am not disappointed in you for struggling. I am compassionate toward you. And here is the truth that will begin to settle your heart. You are not fighting this battle alone anymore. I am stepping into the center of your inner storm. Not to shame you, not to scold you, but to calm you. My beloved child, the very fact that you are still standing, still hoping, still listening, that is evidence of my sustaining grace. Let me carry what you cannot. Let me quiet what you cannot silence. Let me be the peace you have been trying to create on your own. I see your chaos, and I am already turning it into calm. My beloved child, peace is not the absence of trouble. You have been waiting for everything around you to settle before you allow yourself to feel calm. You have told yourself, once this problem is solved, I will finally relax. Once this relationship improves, I will finally breathe. Once the uncertainty clears, then I will have peace. But that is not how my peace works. If peace depended on perfect conditions, you would never truly have it. Life moves in seasons. Challenges rise and fall. Questions appear and fade. There will always be something that tries to disturb your balance. But the peace I am bringing to your heart today does not wait for the world to become quiet. It becomes quiet within you. Imagine a lighthouse standing on the edge of a rocky shore. The winds howl. The rain crashes down. Waves strike the rocks with force. The storm does not ask permission. It does not soften its intensity. And yet, the lighthouse does not panic. It does not run from its position. It stands firm, anchored deep into the ground, shining steadily into the darkness. My beloved child, that is the kind of peace I am building inside you. The storm may still exist around you. Conversations may still feel tense. Bills may still need to be paid. Decisions may still demand courage. But within your heart, I am placing a steady light that does not flicker with every gust of fear. You have confused peace with silence. You thought peace meant no conflict, no stress, no uncertainty. But true peace is strength. It is the ability to remain grounded even when life feels unpredictable. It is a quiet confidence that says, I am held. I am guided. I am not alone. When you understand this, something shifts. You stop fighting every wave. You stop exhausting yourself trying to control outcomes that were never yours to control. You begin to trust that even if the storm does not immediately disappear, you are secure within it. There was a time when you believed that if trouble came, it meant you had failed or that I had stepped away. But trouble is not proof of abandonment. Difficulty is not a sign that you are forgotten. Sometimes storms reveal how deeply rooted you are. Think of a tree planted near a river. When strong winds come, the tree sways. Its branches bend. Leaves may fall. But because its roots stretch deep toward water, it does not collapse. The storm tests it, but it also strengthens it. You, my beloved child, are being rooted. Every moment you choose to trust me instead of surrendering to fear, your roots grow deeper. Every time you pause instead of reacting in panic, your inner foundation strengthens. Every time you whisper, God, help me, you are anchoring yourself in something stronger than circumstance. Peace is not weakness. It is not passivity. It is power under control. It is knowing that I am sovereign over what you cannot see. It is resting in the truth that nothing reaches you without first passing through my hands. And here is what I want you to hear clearly. You do not need to solve everything to experience peace. You do not need all the answers. You do not need a guaranteed outcome. You need trust. My peace begins where your control ends. Release the need to predict every possibility. Release the pressure to fix every detail. Release the belief that you must carry the future on your shoulders. That burden was never assigned to you. Instead, let me be your stability. Let me be the ground beneath your feet. Let me be the calm center in the middle of your swirling thoughts. When anxiety tries to rise again, and sometimes it will, remember the lighthouse. Remember the tree. Remember that the surface may shake, but your foundation is being secured. I am not promising you a life without storms. I am promising you a heart that remains steady within them. And that kind of peace cannot be taken from you by circumstance. It is not fragile. It is not temporary. It is not dependent on external calm. It is anchored in me. My beloved child, I am not just calming your surroundings. I am transforming your inner world. I am teaching your heart how to remain still even when life is loud. This is deeper than relief. This is lasting peace, and it is already beginning to take root within you. My beloved child, lay down what you were never meant to carry. You have been holding burdens that do not belong to you. Some of them were placed on your shoulders by others. Some were picked up solely over time. And some you placed upon yourself because you believed you had to be everything for everyone. But I never asked you to carry the weight of the world. I see the guilt you replay in your mind, words you wish you had not spoken, chances you believe you missed, decisions you would undo if you could. You carry them like heavy stones in your heart, believing that punishing yourself will somehow make things right. But guilt is not your assignment. Growth is. Healing is. Forward movement is. Lay that stone down. I see the fear you carry about disappointing people. You stretch yourself thin trying to meet expectations. You say yes when you want to say no. You silence your own needs so others will feel secure. And yet, even after all your effort, you still fear it is not enough. My beloved child, you were not created to live for approval. You were created to live in love. And my love for you does not rise and fall with performance. Lay that burden down. Here is also the weight of control. You try to anticipate every outcome. You rehearse conversations before they happen. You imagine worst-case scenarios so you can prepare yourself emotionally. You believe that if you think hard enough, plan carefully enough, worry deeply enough, you can prevent pain. But worry has never protected you. It has only exhausted you. Lay that burden down. Imagine a traveler walking a long road with a backpack filled with unnecessary stones. The road is already challenging. The sun is already hot. The distance is already long. But instead of removing the stones, the traveler keeps adding more, believing they are necessary for survival. With every step, the journey becomes heavier. Then a gentle voice says, "Open the bag." When the traveler empties it, he realizes most of the stones were never needed. They were carried out of habit, out of fear, out of misunderstanding. My beloved child, open your bag. You do not need to carry shame from years ago. You do not need to carry responsibility for other people's choices. You do not need to carry fear about a future you cannot yet see. And you certainly do not need to carry the belief that you must earn my love. My love is not a wage. It is a gift. When I say I am bringing peace to your heart today, it begins with release. Peace cannot fully settle where burdens are clutched tightly. You cannot receive with closed hands. I am not asking you to ignore your responsibilities. I am not telling you to avoid accountability. I am inviting you to distinguish between what is yours and what is mine. Your role is faithfulness. My role is outcome. Your role is obedience in small steps. My role is orchestration of the larger picture. Your role is to love, to grow, to trust. My role is to sustain, to guide, to redeem. When you try to take on my role, your heart becomes overwhelmed. When you allow me to carry what only I can carry, your heart begins to rest. My beloved child, I am strong enough for your fears. I am patient enough for your process. I am wise enough for your unanswered questions. You do not have to solve yesterday. You do not have to secure tomorrow. You only need to stand with me in this moment. Picture yourself placing each burden into my hands one by one. The guilt, the fear, the pressure, the need for control. See them leaving your grip. Feel your shoulders becoming lighter. Feel your breathing deepening. This is not weakness. This is surrender. And surrender is not defeat. It is trust. I do not shame you for carrying too much. I understand why you did. You wanted to survive. You wanted to protect. You wanted to prevent pain. But now I am telling you gently, firmly, lovingly, you do not have to do this alone anymore. Let me carry what crushes you. Let me hold what confuses you. Let me manage what overwhelms you. My beloved child, lay it down. Peace is waiting in the space where your burdens used to be. My beloved child, I'm calming your mind. I know how loud it has been in there. Thoughts circling without rest. Questions stacking on top of one another. Memories replaying at the most inconvenient moments. You try to quiet them, but they return. You try to distract yourself, but they grow stronger in silence. It feels as if your own mind has been working against you. But your mind is not your enemy. It is simply tired. You have been asking it to solve what only I can resolve. You have been pushing it to predict what cannot yet be known. You have been forcing it to carry emotional weight that was never meant to sit in your thoughts all day and all night. My beloved child, your mind was created for creativity, for wisdom, for reflection, not for constant survival mode. Imagine a room filled with noise. Many voices speaking at once. Some whispering fear. Some shouting doubt. Some replaying past pain. In that chaos, it is hard to hear anything clearly. But when one steady, calm voice speaks with authority, the others begin to fade. That is what I am doing within you now. My voice is not loud in panic. It is steady in truth. It does not rush. It does not accuse. It does not frighten you into obedience. It reassures you into rest. When anxious thoughts say, "What if everything goes wrong?" I gently respond, "What if you are held even if things change?" When your mind says you are not enough, I speak, "You are deeply loved." When fear says, "You cannot handle this," I whisper, "You will not face it alone." You have been believing every thought that passes through your mind as if it were absolute truth. But not every thought deserves your agreement. Some thoughts are simply echoes of old wounds. Some are born from exhaustion. Some are habits formed in seasons of stress. You do not need to fight every thought with force. You need to learn to let them pass without attaching your identity to them. Picture your thoughts like clouds drifting across the sky. Some are dark. Some are heavy. Some are fast-moving. But none of them are the sky itself. The sky remains vast, open, steady. In the same way, you are not the storm of your thoughts. Beneath them, there is a deeper stillness where I dwell. My beloved child, I am leading you back to that stillness. When your breathing becomes shallow with worry, I invite you to slow it. When your heart begins to race, I remind you to pause. You do not have to react to every internal alarm. Some alarms are false. Some are echoes of past danger, not present reality. I am teaching your nervous system that it is safe to relax. Safety is not just physical. It is emotional. It is spiritual. And you are safe with me. You may not notice it immediately, but subtle changes are already happening. Thoughts that once spiraled for hours will begin to lose their grip. Fears that once dominated your attention will start to soften. The intensity will decrease. The volume will lower. Peace does not always arrive as a dramatic moment. Sometimes it arrives like cool water poured slowly over fire. The flames do not disappear instantly, but they begin to calm. The heat reduces. The smoke clears. That is what I am doing within your mind. You have been harsh with yourself for struggling. You have labeled yourself overthinking, too sensitive, too anxious. But I do not speak to you that way. I see a heart that cares deeply. I see a mind that wants to protect. I see a soul that longs for stability. And I am providing that stability. When you wake in the night and your thoughts try to take control, whisper my name. When your mind begins racing during the day, pause and breathe with me. You are not interrupting me. You are inviting me. I am not distant from your mental battles. I am present in them. My beloved child, your mind will not always feel this chaotic. This season of intensity will not define you forever. I am gently restoring balance. I am retraining your inner world to trust safety again. Let my truth be louder than your fear. Let my promises be stronger than your assumptions. Let my presence fill the spaces where anxiety once dominated. I am calming your mind. And as your mind grows quiet, your heart will follow. My beloved child, I am healing old wounds. Some of the unrest in your heart did not begin yesterday. It did not begin with the most recent challenge. It reaches further back, into moments you rarely speak about, into memories you quickly brush aside, into experiences you told yourself you had already overcome. But wounds do not disappear simply because time has passed. Sometimes they grow quiet, hidden beneath layers of responsibility and routine. And then, when something touches them, the ache returns, surprising you with its intensity. I see those places in you. I see the betrayal that made you question your worth. I see the rejection that made you guard your heart. I see the harsh words that echoed longer than they should have. I see the disappointment that shifted how you trust. Even the times you felt unseen or unheard, they are not forgotten by me. My beloved child, you survived those moments. But survival is not the same as healing. Healing is gentler. It is slower. It requires you to acknowledge that something hurt deeply instead of pretending it did not matter. And I am not asking you to relive the pain. I am inviting you to allow me into it. Imagine a broken bone. When it first breaks, the pain is sharp and immediate. Over time, the surface begins to mend. But beneath the skin, the bone must slowly rebuild itself, layer by layer. It takes patience and takes care. If rushed or ignored, it may not heal correctly. Your heart is no different. Some of your wounds were rushed. You told yourself to move on quickly. You convinced yourself that being strong meant not feeling. You buried emotions because you did not want to seem fragile. But buried pain does not dissolve. It waits. Today, I am not exposing your wounds to shame you. I am touching them to restore you. You may notice memories surfacing unexpectedly. You may feel emotions that seem out of place. Do not fear this process. It is not regression. It is release. What rises to the surface can finally be healed. My beloved child, the hurt you experience does not define your identity. What someone did to you does not determine your value. What you lost does not erase your future. You are not the sum of your pain. You are the recipient of my restoration. There is a tenderness forming within you. You may think you are becoming weaker because you feel more sensitive. But what is happening is deeper than that. The hardness that formed to protect you is slowly softening. The walls that once kept you safe are beginning to open. And that is not vulnerability to harm. It is vulnerability to healing. I am careful with you. I do not tear open wounds violently. I do not rush your process. I move at the pace of love. Sometimes that pace feels slow, but it is intentional. I am rebuilding trust within you, trust in others, trust in yourself, and trust in me. There were moments when you asked why I allowed certain pain. You may not have spoken it out loud, but the question lived quietly in your heart. My beloved child, I never delighted in your suffering. I never abandoned you within it. Even in the darkest chapters, I was working in ways you could not see. Some wounds shaped compassion in you. Some disappointments strengthened discernment in you. Some losses deepened your empathy for others. What was meant to crush you did not succeed. You are still here. And now, you will not just survive. You will be restored. Picture your heart as a garden after a harsh winter. The soil looks dry. The branches look lifeless. It would be easy to assume nothing beautiful will grow again. But beneath the surface, roots are still alive. With warmth, with light, with care, new life begins to emerge. I am that warmth. I am that light. I am tending to your garden. You may not see the full bloom yet, but small signs of renewal are appearing. You respond differently than before. You react with more patience. You recover from hurt more quickly. These are signs of healing. My beloved child, do not rush this sacred work. Do not criticize yourself for not being completely whole overnight. Healing is not a single moment. It is a journey of trust. And you are not walking it alone. Every tear you shed in private I have counted. Every silent prayer for relief I have heard. Every time you thought you would never feel stable again, I was strengthening you quietly. I am healing old wounds, not by erasing your story, but by redeeming it. What once caused you pain will no longer control you. What once made you guarded will no longer imprison you. I am restoring your heart gently, faithfully, completely. And the peace I am bringing to you today is flowing into those very places that once hurt the most. My beloved child, you are safe with me. I know that word, safe, may feel distant to you. There have been seasons when life felt unpredictable, moments when trust was broken, times when stability slipped through your fingers without warning. And because of that, a part of you has remained alert, always watching, always preparing for something to go wrong. But I am telling you now, gently and firmly, you are safe with me. Safety is not the promise that nothing uncomfortable will ever happen again. It is the assurance that whatever happens, you will not face it alone. It is knowing that there is a covering over your life that cannot be torn by circumstance. Think of a small child resting in the arms of a loving father. The world around them may be loud. The thunder may rumble in the distance. The room may be unfamiliar. But the child rests peacefully because they trust the one holding them. They do not analyze the weather. They do not calculate risk. They feel the strength of the arms around them, and that is enough. My beloved child, that is how I hold you. You have been living as if everything depends on your constant vigilance. You monitor conversations carefully. You anticipate conflict. You rehearse responses. You brace yourself emotionally before situations even unfold. You believe that if you stay alert enough, you can prevent pain. But constant alertness is exhausting. You were not created to live in a permanent state of defense. Your heart was not designed to beat in fear every time something feels uncertain. Your mind was not meant to scan for danger in every shadow. I am your refuge. When fear whispers that something bad is coming, pause and remember who surrounds you. When anxiety tries to convince you that you are alone in this, remember who walks beside you. I am not distant from your daily life. I am present in your conversations, your decisions, your quiet moments. Even when you cannot see my protection, it is active. There have been dangers you never noticed because I shielded you. There have been outcomes that could have harmed you deeply, but I redirected them. There have been paths you wished for that I gently closed, not to punish you, but to preserve you. You may not always understand my ways in the moment, but you can trust my heart toward you. My beloved child, you do not have to harden yourself to survive. You do not have to close off your heart to stay protected. You do not have to build walls so high that no one can reach you. True safety does not come from isolation. It comes from trust. Trust that I am guiding your steps. Trust that I am filtering what reaches you. Trust that even when life feels unstable, I remain constant. Imagine walking through a valley at night with a trusted guide. The path may be narrow. The shadows may stretch long. You may not be able to see far ahead. But if your guide knows the terrain, if he has walked it countless times, if he carries a steady light, you can keep moving without fear. I know every path ahead of you. Nothing about your tomorrow surprises me. Nothing catches me unprepared. The uncertainty you feel is not uncertainty to me. I stand outside of time, already aware of what you are walking toward, and I am already there, preparing the way. You are not fragile glass that will shatter at the next impact. You are stronger than you realize. And that strength is not just your own. It flows from me. When you feel your body tense, consciously release it. When your shoulders rise with stress, let them fall. When your thoughts begin to spiral into what if, bring them back to I am held. Say it quietly to yourself, I am safe. Not because everything is predictable, not because life is perfect, but because I am present. My beloved child, I am your shelter in every storm. I am your covering in every season. I am the steady ground beneath your feet when emotions try to shake you. You do not have to live braced for impact anymore. You can rest. You can soften. You can trust. You are safe with me. And the peace I am bringing to your heart today grows deeper when you truly believe that. My beloved child, let go of the fear of tomorrow. I know how often your thoughts travel ahead of you. Before today has even ended, your mind is already standing in next week, next month, next year. You imagine conversations that have not happened. You calculate expenses that have not arrived. You worry about outcomes that have not unfolded. And in doing so, you rob your present moment of peace. The future has felt like a shadow following you. Questions about provision. Questions about relationships. Questions about health, direction, purpose. You want certainty. You want guarantees. You want a clear map with every turn labeled in advance. But faith does not grow in certainty. It grows in trust. My beloved child, tomorrow is not your burden to carry today. Imagine a traveler who insists on carrying tomorrow's supply of water, tomorrow's firewood, and tomorrow's shelter materials all at once. The journey becomes unbearable. The weight slows every step. Yet the traveler does not realize that when tomorrow comes, fresh strength and fresh provision will also come. I have designed your life with daily grace. The strength you need for tomorrow will meet you when tomorrow arrives. The wisdom you require for future decisions will rise within you at the appointed time. The doors meant to open will open. The ones meant to remain closed will remain closed for your protection. You do not have to force what is not yet ready. Sometimes your fear of tomorrow is rooted in past pain. You have experienced disappointment before, so you brace yourself for it again. You have felt loss, so you prepare your heart for more. You believe that if you expect the worst, you will not be caught off guard. But expecting pain does not prevent it. It only extends its reach into moments where it does not belong. My beloved child, you are not walking toward disaster. You are walking with me. There are blessings ahead that you cannot yet imagine. There are connections forming behind the scenes. There are opportunities aligning quietly. There are answers being arranged long before your questions fully form. You see fragments. I see the full picture. When you try to control tomorrow, anxiety increases. When you trust me with tomorrow, peace increases. Let me tell you something gently but clearly. Your life is not hanging by a fragile thread. It is held in steady hands. Even when you make mistakes, I guide you. Even when you choose differently than you should, I redeem you. My plans for you are not so delicate that one misstep can destroy them. Release the pressure to predict. Release the need to prepare for every possible scenario. Release the fear that you will not be able to handle what comes. You will not face your future alone. Picture a child learning to walk while holding a parent's hand. The child may stumble. The ground may feel uncertain. But the parent adjusts their grip, steadying each step. The child does not need to know the entire path. They only need to trust the hand they are holding. My beloved child, you are holding my hand even now. When fear tries to grip your heart about finances, remember that I am your provider. When fear whispers about relationships, remember that I am working in hearts you cannot control. When fear rises about purpose, remember that I am directing your path step by step. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. The timeline you obsess over is not the timeline I operate within. I am not rushed. I am not anxious. I am not scrambling to fix your life at the last minute. I am intentional. Every delay has meaning. Every closed door has purpose. Every waiting season has hidden growth within it. Instead of standing in tomorrow with fear, stand in today with trust. Breathe where your feet are planted. Do the next right thing in front of you. Leave the larger picture in my hands. My beloved child, the future is not a threat. It is a promise, and I am already there. The peace I am bringing to your heart today expands when you surrender tomorrow to me. When you release the imagined disasters. When you stop rehearsing pain that may never arrive. Let go. Not carelessly but confidently. Tomorrow belongs to me, and I take care of what belongs to me. My beloved child, the storm is losing its voice. It once felt deafening, did it not? The noise of fear, the crashing waves of uncertainty, the thunder of overthinking. At times it seemed as though the chaos inside you was louder than my promises. You struggled to hear anything but the wind of worry and the rain of doubt. But listen closely now. The storm is not as powerful as it once was. You may not have noticed it at first. Peace does not always arrive with a dramatic announcement. Sometimes it comes quietly, like the sky lightening before dawn. The darkness does not vanish in an instant, but slowly, steadily, it begins to fade. That is what is happening within you. The thoughts that once spiraled endlessly are beginning to slow. The fears that once dominated your mornings and lingered through your nights are losing their grip. What once felt overwhelming is now something you can observe without being consumed by it. This is not coincidence. This is my presence settling deeper into your heart. Think of a fierce storm at sea. When the winds first rise, the waters churn violently. Jibs are tossed. Visibility is lost. But as the storm passes, the winds weaken. The waves grow smaller. The surface still moves, but it no longer threatens to overturn everything in its path. My beloved child, your inner world is moving from turbulence to steadiness. You may still feel occasional gusts of anxiety. You may still have moments when old fears attempt to rise again. But they no longer control you as they once did. They no longer define your atmosphere. They are passing weather, not permanent climate. Notice how you recover more quickly now. Notice how you pause instead of reacting. Notice how you are able to sit with discomfort without immediately assuming the worst. These are signs that the storm is weakening. You are not the same person you were at the height of the chaos. I have been working beneath the surface. While you were simply trying to survive, I was strengthening your roots. While you were praying through tears, I was building resilience within you. While you questioned whether peace would ever come, I was already moving it toward you. Sometimes you believed the storm would never end. You feared this anxious season would define the rest of your life. You wondered if calm was something other people experienced but not you. But I tell you now with certainty, this storm does not have the final word over you. Its voice is fading because my voice is becoming clearer. You are beginning to recognize truth more easily. You are learning to distinguish between fear and reality. You are discovering that not every urgent thought requires your attention. This discernment is part of your growth. My beloved child, storms reveal strength you did not know you possessed. They expose weaknesses that need healing. They shake loose what was never stable to begin with. And when they pass, what remains is stronger and more grounded. The peace you are experiencing now is not fragile. It has been forged through challenge. It has been shaped in moments when you chose to trust me despite your emotions. It had been nurtured in conversations with me that no one else heard. The storm is losing its authority because you are no longer agreeing with its lies. You are no longer assuming that fear equals truth. You are no longer allowing anxiety to dictate your identity. Instead, you are learning to stand still while the winds weaken around you. There may still be distant thunder. There may still be clouds in the sky. But the danger has passed. The intensity has decreased. And what remains is the quiet assurance that you are held. My beloved child, you did not imagine this progress. You did not fabricate this calm. It is real. It is growing. It is evidence that I am actively restoring your heart. Let the storm fade without chasing it. Let the noise quiet without searching for it. Let peace expand without questioning whether you deserve it. You do. And as the storm loses its voice, my peace will become the dominant sound within you. A steady whisper. A calming presence. A deep knowing that you are safe, guided, and loved. The storm is not your future. Peace is. My beloved child, receive my rest now. You have walked through the noise. You have faced the storm. You have carried burdens that were never meant to stay on your shoulders. And now I am inviting you into something deeper. Not just understanding, not just reassurance, but rest. Real rest. Not the kind that comes from distraction. Not the kind that numbs you for a moment, but the kind that settles into your bones and tells your spirit, you are safe here. Pause with me. Let your breathing slow. Let your shoulders fall. Let your jaw unclench. You do not have to brace yourself in this moment. You do not have to prepare for the next impact. Right now, you are in my presence, and in my presence there is calm. Rest is not laziness. It is trust. When you rest, you are declaring that I am working even when you are not striving. When you rest, you are admitting that you do not have to control every detail. When you rest, you are allowing me to carry what would otherwise exhaust you. Imagine lying down in a quiet field after a long journey. The sky stretches wide above you. The ground supports your weight without effort. For the first time in a long while, you are not running. You are not planning. You are simply present. That is what I am offering you now. My beloved child, your nervous system hath been on high alert for too long. Your mind has been racing ahead of you. Your heart hath been beating as if it must always be ready to defend itself. But you do not live in constant danger. You live under constant grace. Let my peace move through your body like gentle warmth. Let it quiet the racing pulse. Let it soften the tight places in your chest. Let it untangle the knots in your thoughts. You are not falling behind by resting. You are not failing by pausing. You are not weak for needing stillness. Even now, while you are listening, I am planting seeds of peace within you. Seeds that will grow into stability. Seeds that will rise into confidence. Seeds that will remind you in future storms that you have already survived, and you are still held. Rest in the truth that you are deeply loved. Rest in the assurance that your life is guided. Rest in the promise that I am closer than your next breath. And as you settle into this sacred calm, I want to speak something to you that reaches beyond this moment. My beloved child, when you choose to rest in me and allow my peace to transform your heart, you become a living testimony of my goodness. And there are so many other weary hearts who are searching for this same peace right now. When you respond to my whisper and help this message travel further, you are sowing seeds into souls you may never meet. As it is written, give, and it will be given to you. And I speak that promise over you personally. Your generosity becomes a river, not a loss. When you feel the stirring to support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link placed in the description, and even in the QR code before you, know that it is not a transaction. It is obedience to my call to spread light. I say to your heart, step forward and be part of the harvest I am gathering. Do not hesitate when I nudge you, for this is how oil continues to flow and lamps remain lit in dark places. Every seed you release becomes peace planted in another anxious heart. I see your willingness, and I bless it. I multiply what you sow and return it to you in ways you cannot yet measure. Stand with me in this work of restoration. Act now, and let your giving become a living echo of the peace you have received. My beloved child, my peace is different. You have known moments of temporary relief before. A good conversation that distracted you. A day when nothing went wrong. A brief success that made you feel secure. But those moments, as comforting as they were, did not last. The calm faded. The worries returned. The uncertainty crept back in. That is because the peace the world offers depends on circumstances behaving. My peace does not. Temporary relief says, everything is fine right now. My peace says, even if things change, you are still held. Temporary relief quiets the noise for a moment. My peace transforms the atmosphere within you. You have sometimes mistaken distraction for healing. You kept yourself busy so you would not have to feel anxious. You filled your schedule so you would not have to sit with your thoughts. You searched for reassurance from people, hoping their words would silence your fears. But reassurance from others can fade. Situations can shift. Distractions eventually end. My peace remains. Imagine building a house on sand. When the weather is clear, it looks stable. It feels secure. But when wind and rain arrive, the foundation begins to shift. Cracks appear. Fear sets in. The structure was never anchored deeply enough to withstand pressure. Now imagine building that same house on solid rock. The storms still come. The winds still blow. The rain still falls. But the foundation does not move. My beloved child, I am becoming your foundation. The peace I am placing within you is not fragile. It is not based on everything going your way. It is rooted in who I am, unchanging, faithful, steady. You may still encounter difficult conversations. You may still face unexpected news. You may still walk through seasons of waiting. But when those moments arrive, you will notice something different. Instead of panic rising instantly, there will be a pause. Instead of assuming the worst, there will be a breath. Instead of spiraling into fear, there will be a quiet confidence that says, I have faced storms before, and I was sustained. That confidence is my peace growing inside you. It does not mean you will never feel emotion. It does not mean you will never be surprised or challenged. It means that beneath your emotions, there is a deeper stability that cannot be shaken easily. My beloved child, I do not offer you an escape from life. I offer you strength within it. There is a difference. An escape avoids reality. Strength walks through reality without being destroyed by it. You are not becoming numb. You are becoming anchored. You are not ignoring problems. You are facing them with steadiness. You are not pretending everything is perfect. You are trusting that even imperfection is under my authority. This is why my peace is different. It does not fluctuate with every opinion spoken about you. It does not collapse when plans change. It does not disappear when emotions rise. It remains. You may have wondered whether this calm would last. You may have asked yourself, is this real? Or will I wake up tomorrow and feel overwhelmed again? My beloved child, what I begin in you, I continue. Peace is not a fleeting visitor. It is becoming a resident in your heart. The more you choose trust over fear, the stronger it grows. The more you bring your worries to me instead of carrying them alone, the deeper it settles. The more you remind yourself that you are loved and guided, the more natural this peace becomes. You are not returning to the same patterns. You are not trapped in the same cycles. You are being transformed. My peace is not borrowed. It is planted. It is not borrowed from a good day. It is planted in your spirit. It is not borrowed from perfect conditions. It is planted in my promises. And because it is planted, it will grow. My beloved child, the calm you are feeling now is not an illusion. It is not temporary. It is the beginning of a new way of living, grounded, steady, secure. This is my peace, and it is yours to keep. My beloved child, I am rewiring your heart. You may not see it with your eyes, but something deep within you is shifting. Patterns that once felt automatic are loosening their hold. Reactions that used to rise instantly are slowing down. The sharp edges inside your heart are being softened by my presence. This is not accidental. It is intentional transformation. For a long time, your heart learned to respond out of protection. When you sensed rejection, you withdrew. When you felt threatened, you defended yourself. When disappointment came, you braced for more. These responses were not signs of failure. They were survival instincts. But you are no longer in survival mode. My beloved child, I am teaching your heart that it does not have to live in constant defense. Imagine a path in a field that has been walked on for years. The ground becomes hard and deeply marked. Every step naturally follows the same trail because it is familiar. In the same way, your emotional reactions form pathways inside you. Fear became a well-worn trail. Doubt became a familiar road. Guardedness became your default direction. Now I am gently guiding you onto new paths. At first, it feels unfamiliar. You may catch yourself pausing instead of reacting. You may choose calm where you once chose anger. You may respond with patience where you once felt panic. These small shifts may seem insignificant, but they are evidence of deep change. You are not the same person you were before. I am replacing bitterness with tenderness. I am replacing constant tension with steadiness. I am replacing the need to prove yourself with the quiet confidence of being loved. My beloved child, rewiring takes time. It is not an instant switch. It is a gradual renewal. There may be days when old reactions try to return. There may be moments when you feel yourself slipping back into familiar patterns. Do not condemn yourself in those moments. Growth is not perfection. It is progress. Every time you choose to pause and breathe instead of react, you are strengthening a new pathway. Every time you remind yourself that you are safe instead of assuming danger, you are reinforcing trust. Every time you bring your worry to me instead of letting it spiral, you are building stability. You are learning a new way to live. Imagine a musician who has practiced a song incorrectly for years. The rhythm is off, but it has become familiar. When they begin learning the correct pattern, it feels awkward at first. Their hands want to return to the old way. But with practice and patience, the new rhythm becomes natural. Your heart is learning a new rhythm. It is learning the rhythm of peace. Instead of racing ahead with fear, it is slowing into trust. Instead of closing at the first sign of vulnerability, it is opening gradually. Instead of assuming the worst, it is waiting for truth. This is not weakness. This is maturity. You are becoming emotionally stronger, not because you feel less, but because you are grounded in me. There was a time when small disruptions would shake you deeply. A negative comment, a change of plans, a delay in answers. But now, those same disruptions are losing their power. You feel them, but they do not control you. That is my work within you. My beloved child, I am not just calming surface-level anxiety. I am transforming your core. I am reshaping how you interpret situations. I am renewing how you see yourself. I am restoring your ability to respond with clarity instead of chaos. You are becoming more steady, more compassionate, more secure. This transformation will influence every part of your life. Your relationships will feel different because you are no longer reacting from old wounds. Your decisions will feel clear because fear no longer dominates your thinking. Even your inner dialogue will shift, becoming kinder and more truthful. I am aligning your heart with my heart. The more you rest in my presence, the deeper this renewal goes. The more you trust my promises, the more your inner world stabilizes. The more you allow me to guide your thoughts, the more natural peace becomes. My beloved child, you are not stuck. You are not destined to repeat the same emotional cycles forever. You are being renewed from the inside out. And as your heart is rewired for peace, you will begin to live in a way that once felt impossible, calm in situations that used to overwhelm you, confident in moments that once intimidated you, gentle where you once felt guarded. This is the quiet miracle happening within you. I am rewiring your heart, and what I am building in you will last. My beloved child, you are not behind. I know the quiet pressure you feel when you look at your life and compare it to others. You see their milestones, their achievements, their relationships, their progress. And somewhere deep inside, a voice whispers, "You should be further by now." That whisper has troubled you more than you admit. You measure your timeline against someone else's highlight. You look at where you are and assume you missed something, delayed something, or failed at something. You question your decisions. You revisit old crossroads. You wonder if one different choice would have accelerated everything. But my beloved child, your journey was never meant to mirror someone else's. You are not late. You are not slow. You are not forgotten. You are on a path uniquely designed for you. Imagine a garden filled with different plants. Some bloom in early spring. Others blossom in summer. Some trees take years before they bear fruit. Yet when they do, their roots are deep and their branches wide. If you judge them by the speed of their growth, you would misunderstand their purpose. You are not a flower meant to bloom in someone else's season. You are growing according to my design. There were moments when you felt delayed. Doors did not open when you expected. Opportunities passed by. Relationships shifted. Plans changed you. You interpreted those pauses as setbacks. But what you could not see was the protection in the delay. Some doors remained closed because the timing was not yet right. Some paths were redirected because they would not have led to peace. Some seasons stretched longer because your roots needed strengthening. Delay is not denial, and waiting is not failure. My beloved child, I am not rushed with your life. I am not anxious about your progress. I am not comparing you to anyone else. I see the full arc of your journey, not just the chapter you are in right now. The pressure you feel to catch up is not from me. I do not measure you by speed. I measure you by growth. And you have grown more than you realize. You are wiser than you were a year ago. You are calmer than you were in past storms. You respond differently to situations that once overwhelmed you. These are signs of progress that cannot be captured in public milestones. Your internal transformation matters more than external applause. Sometimes you look at your age and feel panic. You think you should have achieved more, settled more, figured out more by now. But time in my hands does not function the way it does in your fears. There is no expiration date on your purpose. There is no deadline on your calling. There is no race you are competing in. Imagine a craftsman carefully shaping a piece of wood. He sands it slowly, intentionally. He does not rush because he understands that rushing would weaken the final product. Every stroke is purposeful. Every pause is meaningful. I am that craftsman in your life. The places where you feel unfinished are places I am still shaping. The areas where you feel uncertain are areas I am still strengthening. You are a work in progress, but you are not abandoned mid-creation. My beloved child, comparison steals joy and distorts perspective. When you focus on someone else's timeline, you lose sight of your own growth. You begin to resent your process instead of trusting it. Trust your process. Trust my timing. Trust that where you are right now is not accidental. Even the detours have been woven into your story for good. The skills you develop in hidden seasons will serve you later. The resilience built in quiet struggles will support you in visible moments. The patience learned in waiting will sustain you in responsibility. Nothing has been wasted. You are not behind. You are becoming. And becoming takes time. When fear tries to tell you that you are running out of time, answer it with truth. When comparison tries to whisper that you are lacking, silence it with gratitude. When impatience rises, breathe and remember that I am guiding every step. My beloved child, your story is unfolding exactly as it should. You are not missing out. You are not overlooked. You are not delayed beyond repair. You are right where you need to be for this season. And the peace I am bringing to your heart today includes freedom from the pressure to measure yourself against anyone else. Walk your path. Trust my timing. You are not behind. My beloved child, I am quieting the inner critic. There hath been a voice inside you that speaks more harshly than anyone else ever has. A voice that replays your mistakes long after others have forgotten them. A voice that magnifies your flaws and minimizes your strengths. A voice that tells you that you should have done better, been better, known better. You have lived with that voice for so long that you always mistake it for truth. But it is not my voice. My voice corrects gently. My voice guides with love. My voice convicts without crushing. The inner critic, however, condemns without mercy. It speaks in absolutes. It tells you that one failure defines you. It insists that one weakness erases all your growth. My beloved child, I am not speaking to you in that tone. When you stumble, I do not stand over you with disappointment. I extend my hand to lift you. When you misunderstand something, I do not mock you. I teach you patiently. When you fall short, I do not withdraw my love. I draw closer. The harsh voice inside you was formed somewhere. Perhaps it echoes words spoken to you in the past. Perhaps it developed from trying to protect yourself from criticism by criticizing yourself first. Perhaps it grew from comparison and pressure. But whatever its origin, it does not have authority over you. Imagine carrying a small judge inside your mind, constantly evaluating every move you make. Before you speak, it warns you that you might say the wrong thing. After you speak, it tells you that you did. Before you try something new, it predicts failure. After you try, it highlights imperfections. Living under that constant scrutiny is exhausting. No wonder you struggle to rest. No wonder peace has felt fragile at times. But today, I am gently dismantling that courtroom inside your mind. You do not live on trial before me. You live as my beloved child. There is a difference between growth and self-punishment. Growth says, I can learn from this. Self-punishment says, I am this mistake. Growth invites progress. Self-punishment traps you in shame. Shame is not a tool I use. My beloved child, I see your imperfections and still call you worthy. I see your weaknesses and still call you chosen. I see your doubts and still call you faithful. The inner critic tells you that you must earn love. I tell you that love was given before you ever tried to deserve it. Think of a young child learning to walk. They stumble. They fall. They wobble awkwardly across the room. A loving parent does not scold them for falling. The parent celebrates every step, encourages every attempt, and lifts them gently when they fall. That is how I see you. Every effort you make matters to me. Every attempt to trust, even when you are afraid, is precious. Every time you try again after failure, I am proud of your courage. You are far more compassionate toward others than you are toward yourself. When someone else struggles, you understand their humanity. When you struggle, you question your worth. My beloved child, extend to yourself the same grace you offer so freely to others. You are not defined by your worst day. You are not measured by your lowest moment. You are not reduced to a single chapter in your story. The inner critic may still attempt to speak. Old habits do not vanish overnight. But you no longer have to agree with it. When it says you are not enough, you can answer, I am loved. When it says you will never change, you can respond, I am growing. When it says you always fail, you can declare, I am learning. You are not powerless against those thoughts. I am strengthening your inner voice to reflect my truth. My beloved child, the peace I am bringing to your heart cannot fully flourish while you are constantly attacking yourself. So I am teaching you to replace accusation with affirmation, to replace harsh judgment with patient growth, to replace shame with compassion. You do not have to be perfect to be precious. You do not have to perform to be accepted. You do not have to silence every flaw to be worthy of love. I am quieting the inner critic, and in its place I am planting a new voice, steady, kind, truthful. A voice that reminds you daily, you are my beloved child. And that is enough. My beloved child, even now, I am working. There are moments when you look at your life and wonder if anything is changing. You pray, you wait, you try to trust, yet circumstances seem the same. The challenges do not disappear overnight. The answers do not always arrive quickly. And in the silence between prayers and breakthroughs, you are tempted to ask, is anything happening at all? Yes, my beloved child. More than you can see. Not all progress is visible on the surface. Some of the most important work happens underground, hidden from view. Imagine a seed planted deep in the soil. For days, even weeks, nothing appears above the ground. If you judged by sight alone, you might assume nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, roots are forming. Strength is building. Life is preparing to emerge. Your life is in a season of hidden growth. While you are waiting for visible change, I am strengthening your foundation. While you are hoping for clear answers, I am aligning circumstances in ways you cannot yet trace. While you are questioning the delay, I am shaping you for what is ahead. I do not waste time. Even the waiting has purpose. You sometimes think progress should feel dramatic. Doors swinging open, sudden clarity, instant transformation. But often, my work is quieter. It unfolds gradually. It builds layer by layer. There are conversations happening that you know nothing about. There are hearts being softened in ways you cannot measure. There are paths being cleared that you have not yet walked. There are obstacles being removed before you ever encountered them. You see the present moment. I see the full timeline. My beloved child, I understand how discouraging it can feel when you pray for change, and the same situation greets you the next morning. But do not mistake stillness for inactivity. Do not confuse silence with absence. Just because you cannot hear me moving does not mean I am not. Think of a craftsman carving a sculpture from stone. At first, each strike of the tool seems small. The shape is unclear. Dust falls, but the figure is not yet recognizable. Only with time does the image begin to emerge. Only with patience does the beauty become visible. You are being shaped carefully. Every challenge has been refining you. Every delay has been strengthening you. Every unanswered question has been deepening your trust. You are not stuck. You are being prepared. There are things you once asked for that would have overwhelmed you in an earlier season. There are responsibilities you desired that you were not yet ready to carry. If I had given them to you prematurely, they might have broken you instead of blessed you. Gavarayan is Gradekian. My beloved child, I am not withholding from you out of indifference. I am preparing you out of love. While you focus on what has not yet changed, consider how much you have grown. You respond differently now. You recover more quickly. You see situations with greater clarity. These are signs that my work is active within you. Even in relationships that feel stagnant, I am working. Even in finances that feel tight, I am working. Even in dreams that seem delayed, I am working. Nothing about your life is outside my reach. When you feel tempted to lose hope, remember that hope is not built on what you see. It is built on who I am. And I am faithful. You may not know the details of how everything will unfold, but you can trust that I am orchestrating what you cannot control. I am weaving together events, timing, and growth into a story that will one day make sense in ways you cannot yet imagine. My beloved child, do not give up in the middle of hidden growth. Roots are forming. Strength is increasing. Character is deepening. When the season shifts, and it will, you will look back and realize that this quiet time was not wasted. It was foundational. The peace I am bringing to your heart today includes trust in unseen progress. It includes confidence that my hands are steady even when your circumstances seem unchanged. Rest in that truth. Even now, in this very moment, I am working for your good. And what I am building in the unseen will soon support what you will see. My beloved child, I am bringing peace into your relationships. Some of your deepest unrest has not come from circumstances, but from people. Words spoken in haste. Misunderstandings that lingered. Silence where there should have been communication. Expectations that were never clearly expressed. You have felt the tension. You have replayed conversations in your mind, wondering what you could have said differently. Relationships mattered to you. That is why they have the power to disturb your peace. When harmony is broken, your heart feels unsettled. When someone pulls away, you question yourself. When conflict arises, you feel responsible to fix it immediately. You carry the emotional weight of others as if it is your assignment to keep everyone balanced. But my beloved child, you are not the savior of every relationship. You are called to love, not to control. There is a difference. Sometimes you try so hard to maintain peace that you silence your own needs. You avoid difficult conversations to prevent discomfort. You agree when you disagree, hoping it will preserve harmony. But forced peace is not true peace. It creates quiet tension beneath the surface. I am not asking you to avoid truth for the sake of comfort. I am teaching you how to walk in peace without abandoning yourself. Imagine two trees growing side by side. If their roots are healthy, they can withstand wind together. But if one tree leans too heavily on the other, both become unstable. Relationships require balance. They require mutual responsibility. You cannot carry what belongs to someone else. My beloved child, some conflicts are not yours to solve alone. I'm softening hearts, including yours. Where pride has created distance, I am planting humility. Where misunderstanding has created walls, I am preparing clarity. Where hurt has created silence, I am nurturing courage for honest conversation. You do not need to force reconciliation. You need to trust that I am working in hearts beyond your reach. There may be relationships that shift in this season. Some will grow stronger. Some may grow distant. Do not interpret every change as failure. Sometimes adjustment is necessary for growth. Sometimes boundaries are an expression of wisdom, not rejection. You are allowed to protect your peace. Loving others does not mean absorbing their chaos. Being compassionate does not require sacrificing your stability. You can offer kindness without surrendering your identity. When tension rises, pause before reacting. Let my calm settle your words. Speak from clarity, not from fear. Listen without assuming the worst. And when you cannot resolve everything immediately, trust that time and grace can accomplish what pressure cannot. My beloved child, forgiveness is part of peace. Not because the hurt did not matter, but because holding resentment keeps your heart restless. Forgiveness does not mean you approve of what happened. It means you release the grip it has on your inner world. I will give you the strength to forgive when you are ready. And I will give you wisdom to know where healthy boundaries are needed. There are people in your life who genuinely care for you, even if they do not always express it perfectly. There are misunderstandings that can be resolved with patience. There are connections that will deepen as you grow. And there may also be relationships that are seasonal. Do not fear that truth. Not everyone is meant to walk with you forever. Some were part of your learning. Some were part of your strengthening. Some were part of your preparation. Release them with grace if necessary. My beloved child, peace in relationships begins within you. When your heart is steady, you do not react from insecurity. When your identity is secure, you do not cling out of fear. When your trust is rooted in me, you do not crumble when others disappoint you. I am becoming your anchor so that relationships become a place of connection, not constant anxiety. You do not have to manage everyone's emotions. You do not have to carry every misunderstanding. You do not have to fix what only time and growth can heal. Do your part in love. Speak with honesty. Forgive with wisdom. Set boundaries with grace. And trust me with the rest. The peace I am bringing to your heart today will ripple into every conversation, every connection, every interaction. As you become calmer, your relationships will feel lighter. As you become steadier, your words will carry gentleness. As you trust me more, you will fear people less. My beloved child, I am restoring peace not just inside you, but around you. And you will begin to notice the difference. My beloved child, I am guarding your mind. You have learned that not every thought deserves your trust. Not every fear deserves your agreement. Not every voice deserves your attention. And now I am strengthening a boundary around your inner world. Your mind is sacred ground. It is where ideas are formed, where decisions begin, where emotions take shape. If your mind is constantly invaded by negativity, doubt, and fear, your peace feels fragile. But when your mind is protected by truth, your heart becomes steady. I am teaching you discernment. There was a time when you believed every anxious thought as soon as it appeared. If fear whispered, "Something will go wrong," you immediately prepared for disaster. If doubt said, "You are not capable," you withdrew. If insecurity suggested, "They do not value you," you began to question yourself. But now you are learning to pause. You are learning to ask, is this thought aligned with truth? Is this voice aligned with love? That pause is powerful. Imagine a gate at the entrance of a city. If the gate remains open without watchfulness, anyone can enter, friend or enemy. But when the gate is guarded, entry is examined. Only what belongs is allowed in. Your mind is that city. I am strengthening the gate. When negative thoughts attempt to rush in, you will begin to notice them sooner. You will recognize patterns that once went unchecked. You will feel a subtle awareness that says, "This does not belong here." That awareness is my protection working within you. My beloved child, you do not have to engage every internal argument. You do not have to debate every fearful scenario. You do not have to entertain every self-critical whisper. You can let some thoughts pass without invitation. Peace grows when your mind is not constantly hosting chaos. You may still encounter moments where worry tries to rise. You may still feel occasional surges of doubt. But instead of being swept away, you are becoming grounded. Grounded in truth. Grounded in identity. Grounded in my promises. There are lies that have tried to live in your mind for years. Lies about your worth. Lies about your future. Lies about your limitations. They became familiar because they were repeated often. But repetition does not make something true. Truth makes something true. And truth is this: you are loved, you are guided, you are capable of growth, and you are not alone. When fear presents itself, answer it calmly. When doubt speaks loudly, respond quietly with trust. When insecurity knocks, remember who you are in me. You are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You have authority over what you allow to remain. My beloved child, Part of my peace is mental discipline, not rigid control, but gentle awareness. It is choosing what you meditate on. It is choosing gratitude instead of comparison. It is choosing faith instead of speculation. Your mind becomes healthier when you feed it truth. Just as your body responds to what you consume, your inner world responds to what you dwell on. If you constantly rehearse fear, fear grows. If you repeatedly focus on what is wrong, discouragement increases. But when you dwell on my faithfulness, my guidance, my love, stability forms. I'm helping you redirect your focus. Instead of asking, what if everything falls apart? You are learning to ask, what if everything is being held together? Instead of assuming rejection, you are learning to assume patience. Instead of predicting failure, you are preparing with wisdom. This shift is subtle, but it is powerful. You are becoming more selective with your attention. You are becoming more protective of your peace. You are realizing that you do not have to live at the mercy of mental noise. My beloved child, the mind I created within you is capable of clarity, creativity, and strength. It was never meant to be a battlefield every day. I am calming the battlefield. I am stationing truth at the gates. I am teaching you to recognize my voice above all others. And as your mind becomes guarded by peace, your heart will feel lighter. Your decisions will feel clearer. Your confidence will grow. You will no longer be tossed by every passing thought. You will stand steady, because I am guarding your mind. And nothing that contradicts my love will have the final word within you. My beloved child, your tears have meaning. There were nights when you cried quietly so no one would hear. Moments when you held yourself together in public, only to release your pain in private. You wondered if anyone truly understood the depth of what you were feeling. You questioned whether your tears mattered at all. They mattered to me. Not one tear has fallen unnoticed. Not one sigh of exhaustion has escaped my awareness. Not one silent prayer whispered into the dark has been ignored. When your heart felt too heavy for words, I still understood. Tears are not weakness. They are the language of a heart that feels deeply. You have cried for many reasons. You cried from disappointment when something you hoped for did not happen. You cried from frustration when you felt misunderstood. You cried from loneliness when connection felt distant. You cried from exhaustion when you tried to stay strong for too long. My beloved child, I was present in every one of those moments. Sometimes you believed your tears were proof that you were not strong enough. You compared yourself to those who seemed composed, thinking that strength meant silence. But strength is not the absence of emotion. Strength is the willingness to feel without giving up. Every tear carried a story. Some tears washed away pride and taught you humility. Some tears softened your heart and deepened your compassion. Some tears revealed how much you truly care. Even the tears that came from confusion or fear were part of your growth. Imagine rain falling on dry ground. At first, it may seem like destruction. It may feel inconvenient. But rain prepares the soil for new life. Without it, the ground remains hard and unyielding. Your tears have softened your heart. They have made you more empathetic, more aware, more sensitive to the struggles of others. What once felt like breaking was often bending, and bending kept you from shattering. My beloved child, do not be ashamed of the seasons when you cried more than you smiled. Those seasons were not wasted. They were refining you. Sometimes you asked me, why does this hurt so much? And though the answer was not always immediate, I was working in the pain. I was shaping your character. I was teaching you endurance. I was drawing you closer to me. Pain can isolate, but it can also deepen connection. In your lowest moments, you often reached for me more honestly than ever before. You spoke without pretense. You prayed without rehearsed words. You surrendered without pride. Those moments were sacred. Your tears were not signs of defeat. They were invitations for comfort. I did not turn away from your brokenness. I stepped closer. When you felt fragile, I held you gently. When you felt overwhelmed, I steadied you. When you felt forgotten, I reminded you that you were seen. There are some tears you still carry quietly, tears for dreams that did not unfold, for relationships that changed, for opportunities that slipped away. I understand the weight of those losses, and I promise you, nothing that shaped you has been meaningless. Even sorrow can be transformed. What once made you ache will one day make you wider. What once caused deep sadness will become part of your testimony. The pain that once felt unbearable will not define you forever. My beloved child, you are not fragile because you cry. You are human, and your humanity is not a flaw. Let yourself feel without condemnation. Let yourself grieve what needs grieving. Let yourself release what you cannot control, and know that I am near in every tearful moment. Peace does not mean you never cry again. It means that even when you do, you are not alone. It means that your tears no longer drown you. They cleanse you. They soften you. They remind you of your depth. Your tears have watered the soil of your future. They have prepared you for deeper joy, richer gratitude, and stronger faith. My beloved child, I treasure your vulnerability. I honor your honesty. I value your emotional courage. The peace I am bringing to your heart today does not erase your past tears. It transforms their meaning. They were not signs of abandonment. They were signs of growth, and I have held every single one. My beloved child, breathe in my presence. You have been holding your breath more than you realize. Not physically alone, but emotionally. Bracing, anticipating, waiting for something to shift. Your body learned to stay alert. Your heart learned to stay guarded. Even in moments of quiet, there was tension beneath the surface. Now I am inviting you to exhale. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can. Take a slow, steady breath. Feel the air fill your lungs. Feel your chest rise. Then release it gently. This simple act is more powerful than you think. When you breathe slowly, you tell your body that it is safe. When you pause, you remind your spirit that it is not under attack. When you become still, you create space for me to be felt more clearly. My beloved child, I am not distant from you. I am not hidden behind complicated rituals or unreachable expectations. I am near, closer than the air you breathe. You have searched for peace in solutions, in answers, in changed circumstances. But peace also flows from awareness that I am with you right now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Now, imagine standing near a warm fire on a cold night. You do not need to chase the warmth. You simply step closer and allow it to surround you. My presence is like that fire. It does not demand performance. It offers comfort. Step closer. When your thoughts begin to scatter, gently bring them back. You do not need to fight them aggressively. Just return your focus to me. Whisper my name. Remember my promises. Feel the steadiness of my love. Peace grows in stillness. The world around you moves quickly. Notifications, deadlines, expectations, responsibilities. It is easy to become swept into constant motion. But your soul was not created to live in endless noise. It was created for connection. Connection with me restores you. My beloved child, when you intentionally pause, you recalibrate. You remember what matters. You feel grounded again. You remember that you are not carrying your life alone. There is a quiet strength that comes from sitting in my presence without agenda, not asking for anything, not striving to prove anything, simply being. You do not have to impress me with long speeches. You do not have to earn my attention. You already have it. When you breathe deeply, imagine my peace entering with that breath. Imagine tension leaving your body as you exhale. Imagine light filling spaces that once felt heavy. You may not feel dramatic change immediately. That is all right. Peace is not always loud. Sometimes it is a subtle shift, a slight softening of your chest, a gentle slowing of your thoughts, a quiet reassurance that everything is not as fragile as it once seemed. My beloved child, the more you practice stillness, the more familiar my peace becomes. It will no longer feel distant or temporary. It will feel like home. Home is not a place. It is a state of belonging. You belong in my presence. When anxiety tries to pull you into the future, return to this breath. When regret tries to drag you into the past, return to this moment. Right here, right now, you are held. Nothing in this moment is threatening you. Nothing in this breath is overwhelming you. You are safe. I am teaching your body and your spirit a new rhythm. Instead of constant urgency, there will be steady calm. Instead of reactive fear, there will be thoughtful response. Instead of bracing for impact, there will be quiet trust. This transformation begins with awareness, with breath, with presence. My beloved child, you do not have to run to find me. You do not have to climb to reach me. You simply have to become still enough to notice that I am already here. Let my presence settle around you like a gentle covering. Let it remind you that you are not alone in your responsibilities. Let it assure you that I am attentive to every detail of your life. Breathe in my peace. Breathe out your fear. Breathe in my love. Breathe out your tension. Remain here for a moment longer. This is where restoration begins. This is where peace deepens. And this is where you remember that you are forever held in my presence. My beloved child, peace is becoming your nature. At first, it felt like something you had to search for. You reached for it in moments of panic. You prayed for it when anxiety rose. You hoped it would visit you when circumstances improved. Peace seemed like a guest that came and went. But now, something deeper is happening. Peace is no longer just something you experience occasionally. It is becoming part of who you are. You may not notice the transformation clearly yet, but others will. Where you once reacted quickly, you now pause. Where you once assumed the worst, you now wait for clarity. Where you once felt shaken by small disruptions, you now remain steady. This is not accidental. This is my work within you maturing. Imagine a river that once flooded wildly with every rainfall. The banks could not contain it. The waters overflowed easily. But over time, as the riverbed deepens and strengthens, the water flows with direction instead of chaos. The same water that once caused destruction now moves with purpose. Your emotions are becoming like that river. You still feel deeply. You still care intensely. But your feelings no longer overwhelm you the way they once did. They flow through you instead of drowning you. My beloved child, peace is not suppression. It is alignment. You are learning to align your thoughts with truth instead of fear. You are aligning your reactions with wisdom instead of impulse. You are aligning your expectations with trust instead of control. As this alignment grows, peace feels more natural. There was a time when calm felt unfamiliar, almost uncomfortable. You were so used to tension that stillness felt strange. But now, stillness is becoming your comfort. Trust is becoming your instinct. Stability is becoming your foundation. You are not constantly scanning for danger anymore. You are not preparing for disaster at every turn. You are not assuming that peace will vanish at any moment. Instead, you are beginning to expect steadiness. My beloved child, this is growth. You are becoming less reactive and more reflective, less anxious and more assured, less driven by urgency and more grounded in patience. The transformation has not happened overnight. It has been built through countless small choices. Every time you chose to breathe instead of panic. Every time you chose to pray instead of spiral. Every time you chose to trust instead of control. These choices have shaped you. And now peace is not just surrounding you. It is rooted within you. Think of a tree that has weathered many storms. Its trunk bears marks of past seasons. Its branches have bent and straightened many times. But because it has endured, its roots are deep. It no longer trembles at every gust of wind. You are becoming that tree. Life may still bring unexpected changes. Conversations may still surprise you. Plans may still shift. But your inner foundation remains. Peace does not mean you will never feel stress again. It means stress no longer defines you. Peace does not mean you will never face conflict. It means conflict no longer controls your identity. Peace does not mean you will never feel fear. It means fear no longer dictates your choices. My beloved child, I am shaping you into someone who carries calm into chaotic spaces. Someone who steadies others simply by being present. Someone whose trust in me radiates outward. This is not pride. It is purpose. Your peace will become a shelter for others. When someone else is overwhelmed, they will notice your steadiness. When someone else feels lost, they will sense your clarity. And you will not even have to preach or explain. Your presence will speak. That is how deeply this peace is taking root. You are no longer chasing calm. You are becoming calm. You are no longer begging for stability. You are living from it. My beloved child, the peace I am bringing to your heart today is not temporary relief. It is transformation. It is shaping your identity. It is forming your character. It is becoming your nature. And as it settles deeper within you, you will walk differently, speak differently, and respond differently. Not because life has become perfect, but because you are anchored in me. And when you are anchored in me, peace is not something you search for. It is something you carry. My beloved child, the past no longer owns you. There were seasons when your memories felt like chains. You would revisit moments and feel the same shame, the same regret, the same sting of what could have been different. You replayed decisions. You questioned your younger self. You wished for a chance to rewrite chapters that no longer exist. But listen to me clearly now. Your past is part of your story, not your prison. There is a difference. You have grown since those moments. You have learned what you did not know then. You have seen consequences, felt lessons, gained wisdom. Yet sometimes you judge your past self by your present understanding. You expect the person you were back then to have the knowledge you only gained later. That is not fair to yourself. My beloved child, you were doing the best you could with what you understood at the time. Yes, there were mistakes. Yes, there were choices you would not repeat. Yes, there were moments you wish had unfolded differently. But those moments are not your identity. You are not defined by one failure. You are not reduced to one wrong turn. You are not permanently marked by one season of weakness. Imagine carrying an old suitcase everywhere you go. It is filled with memories, some painful, some heavy. At first, you believe you needed to keep it close, as a reminder of what happened. But as years pass, the suitcase only grows heavier. It does not serve you anymore, yet you refuse to set it down. My beloved child, you are allowed to release it. The lessons can stay. The shame can go. The wisdom can remain. The self-condemnation can leave. What happened in your past may have shaped you, but it does not control you anymore. There were times when you thought, if only I had known better. But growth always follows experience. You cannot expect maturity without journey. The person you are now is the result of walking through what you once feared. You are wiser. You are stronger. You are more compassionate. And much of that strength was born from seasons you once wished away. I do not hold your past against you. I do not replay your mistakes in my mind. I do not measure your worth by former failures. When you ask for forgiveness, I give it fully. When you seek growth, I support it completely. I do not keep a record to remind you later. So why do you? My beloved child, you have punished yourself long enough. It is time to live forward. The past can inform you, but it cannot imprison you unless you allow it. You are not bound to repeat old patterns. You are not destined to relive former pain. You are not trapped in cycles that cannot be broken. Freedom begins when you believe it is possible. There are people who still see you through the lens of who you used to be. That may hurt, but their perception does not define your reality. I see who you are becoming. I see your transformation. I see your sincerity, and that vision is what matters most. If memories surface and try to pull you backward, gently remind yourself, I am no longer there. You are here. You are growing. You are moving forward. Think of a road stretching ahead of you. The path behind you cannot be walked again. It exists only as memory. The only direction you can travel is forward. And I am walking with you. My beloved child, I have redeemed what you thought ruined you. I have used what you thought disqualified you. I have woven even painful chapters into a larger story of resilience and grace. Nothing in your past is too broken for me to transform. And nothing you regret is beyond redemption. Nothing you carry in shame is stronger than my love. You are not owned by yesterday. You are not controlled by old versions of yourself. You are not defined by moments you wish had never happened. You are defined by my love, and my love speaks freedom over you. Step forward without looking back in fear. Walk ahead without dreading old chains. Lift your head without rehearsing former failures. The peace I am bringing to your heart today includes release. Release from shame. Release from regret. Release from self-condemnation. Your past does not own you. I do. And I am leading you into freedom. My beloved child, I am strengthening your inner core. There is a strength forming inside you that does not shout, does not boast, and does not demand attention. It is quiet. It is steady. It is resilient. And it is far more powerful than the frantic energy you once relied on to push through difficult days. You used to think strength meant never feeling afraid. You believed it meant holding everything together without showing cracks. You thought it meant solving every problem on your own and never asking for help. But that kind of strength exhausts the soul. True strength is different. True strength is the ability to remain grounded when emotions rise. It is the courage to admit, when you need support. It is the humility to trust me when you do not have all the answers. It is the steadiness that comes from knowing you are anchored in something greater than your circumstances. My beloved child, that is the strength I am building within you. Think of the core of a tree. The outer bark may be scarred by storms. Branches may bend. Leaves may fall. But the trunk remains firm because the inner wood is dense and rooted deeply into the earth. You are becoming like that tree. Life will still bring challenges. There will still be moments of pressure, unexpected news, and shifting plans. But instead of collapsing under stress, you will bend without breaking. You will feel emotion without losing balance. You will face uncertainty without surrendering to panic. His strength is not about being unfeeling. It is about being anchored. You are learning to stand firm without becoming rigid. You are learning to stay open without becoming fragile. You are learning to respond instead of react. My beloved child, the trials you have faced were not meant to crush you. They were shaping your endurance. Every time you chose not to give up, you strengthened your inner resolve. Every time you returned to me after doubting, you reinforced your faith. Every time you faced discomfort and kept moving forward, you built resilience. You are not as fragile as you once feared. You are not as weak as your anxiety once suggested. There is steel forming beneath your softness. Imagine a blacksmith shaping metal in fire. The heat is intense. The hammer strikes repeatedly. From the outside, it looks harsh. But the purpose is not destruction. It is refinement. The metal becomes stronger, more durable, more capable of holding weight. In the same way, the pressures you endured have strengthened your character. They have shaped patience where there was once impulsiveness. They have formed wisdom where there was once naivety. They have built discernment where there was once confusion. This is growth. My beloved child, strength does not mean you will never feel overwhelmed again. It means that when overwhelm comes, you know how to ground yourself. You know how to breathe. You know how to turn to me. You know how to pause instead of spiraling. You have tools now that you did not have before. You have perspective now that you lacked in earlier seasons. You have calm now that once felt unreachable. This is not accidental. It is the result of your willingness to grow. You are becoming emotionally mature. You are becoming spiritually grounded. You are becoming internally steady. And as your inner core strengthens, you will notice something powerful. External chaos will have less influence over you. Opinions will not shake you as deeply. Delays will not discourage you as quickly. Conflict will not destabilize you as easily. Because your stability no longer depends on what happens around you. It depends on who you are rooted in. My beloved child, you are rooted in me. And I do not shift. I do not falter. I do not crumble under pressure. As you anchor yourself in my presence, you share in that steadiness. The peace I am bringing to your heart today is not fragile. It is reinforcing your inner structure. It is strengthening your emotional spine. It is teaching you how to stand firm without becoming hard. You will face life with calm courage. You will carry yourself with quiet confidence. You will endure challenges without losing your center. Because I am strengthening your inner core. And what I am building in you cannot be easily shaken. You are becoming resilient. You are becoming grounded. You are becoming strong in ways that will sustain you for years to come. And that strength is wrapped in peace. My beloved child, you will sleep in safety. I know the nights have not always been easy for you. When the lights go out and the world grows quiet, your thoughts sometimes grow louder. The distractions of the day fade, and what remains are unanswered questions, unresolved emotions, and fears that seem stronger in the dark. You have laid awake staring at the ceiling, replaying conversations, calculating possibilities, anticipating problems that have not even happened. Your body is tired, but your mind refuses to rest. You shift from one side to the other, searching for comfort that feels just out of reach. But I am telling you now, peace will follow you into the night. Sleep was designed as a gift, not a battleground. It is meant to restore your body, to refresh your mind, to give your spirit space to reset. You were not created to fight invisible wars while you are supposed to be resting. My beloved child, the same peace I bring to your waking hours will guard you when you close your eyes. Imagine a small child falling asleep in a secure home. They do not stay awake to monitor the doors. They do not check the locks repeatedly. They trust that someone stronger is watching over them. That trust allows them to drift into deep, uninterrupted rest. That is how I watch over you. When you lie down, you do not have to keep watch over your life. You do not have to solve tomorrow before it arrives. You do not have to analyze every possible outcome. I remain awake so that you can sleep. There is protection around you that you cannot see. There is care surrounding you that does not sleep. When anxious thoughts try to surface at night, gently release them. Whisper my name. Remind yourself that you are not responsible for controlling the darkness. You are held even in your most vulnerable hours. You may not notice it immediately, but your nights are changing. The racing thoughts will slow. The restless turning will lessen. The tension in your chest will soften. Because you are learning to trust me not only during the day, but also in the stillness of night. My beloved child, your body needs rest. Your mind needs restoration. Your heart needs the rhythm of peace that only true rest can bring. Sleep is an act of trust. When you allow yourself to sleep, you are declaring that I am in control. You are releasing your grip on what you cannot manage. You are acknowledging that your strength has limits, and that is not weakness. It is wisdom. There have been nights when you fell asleep from exhaustion rather than peace. But soon, you will fall asleep from calm assurance. Picture yourself lying down without tension in your jaw, without tightness in your shoulders, without your mind racing through a checklist of worries. Instead, imagine feeling a gentle covering of comfort settling over you like a warm blanket. That covering is my presence. You are not alone in the dark. You are not unprotected while you sleep. You are not vulnerable without care. Even when you cannot see me, I am near. Even when your eyes are closed, I am attentive. Even when you drift into dreams, I am steady. My beloved child, you will not always remember every worry you once had. Many of the fears that kept you awake will fade with time. What felt urgent in the night will seem smaller in the morning light. Trust that I am managing what concerns you. When tomorrow comes, you will receive fresh strength. You will have clarity for what needs attention. You will not be ambushed by life because I walk ahead of you. So tonight, and in the nights to come, release your thoughts before you close your eyes. Hand them to me intentionally. Tell me what troubles you. Then allow yourself to rest. Your sleep will become deeper. Your dreams will become calmer. Your mornings will begin with less dread and more steadiness. Because peace is not limited to your waking hours. It will guard your nights as well. My beloved child, you will sleep in safety, and I will watch over you with unwavering love. My beloved child, I am restoring your joy slowly. There was a time when joy felt natural to you. It rose easily. You laughed without overthinking. You looked forward to things with excitement instead of caution. But after certain disappointments, after seasons of stress, after carrying heavy burdens, that lightness seemed to fade. You did not lose your ability to feel joy. It was simply covered by weight. When anxiety occupies your thoughts and pressure fills your days, joy feels distant. You begin to focus on responsibilities instead of beauty. You prioritize survival instead of celebration. You move from task to task without noticing small blessings around you. But I am gently reawakening joy within you. Joy is not forced positivity. It is not pretending everything is perfect. It is a quiet delight that coexists with reality. It is the ability to notice light even when shadows remain. Imagine the sunrise after a long night. It does not burst into full brightness instantly. It begins with a faint glow at the horizon. Gradually, the sky softens. Colors shift. Darkness retreats. And before you realize it, light fills the landscape. That is how joy is returning to you. At first, it may feel subtle, a moment of genuine laughter, a sense of gratitude for something simple, a brief excitement about the future. You may even be surprised by it, thinking, I did not expect to feel this. That is the beginning. My beloved child, your heart is healing enough to allow joy again. When you were in survival mode, joy felt risky. You guarded yourself from hope because you did not want to be disappointed again. You muted your expectations so that loss would hurt less. But guarding your heart from pain also guarded it from delight. Now you are strong enough to feel both. You are learning that experiencing joy does not guarantee the absence of hardship. It simply means you trust me enough to embrace good moments without fear of losing them. Joy grows in gratitude. When you begin to notice small blessings, a kind word, a peaceful afternoon, a quiet accomplishment, your heart softens. Instead of scanning for what is wrong, you begin to recognize what is right. This shift changes everything. You do not have to wait for major breakthroughs to feel joy. You do not have to reach a certain milestone before you allow yourself to smile. Joy can live in ordinary moments. It can live in a calm morning. It can live in a warm conversation. It can live in a simple breath of relief. My beloved child, I am restoring your capacity to enjoy life without constant fear of losing it. You will find yourself smiling without forcing it. You will feel lighter without understanding why. You will begin to look forward to things again. And when that happens, do not question it. Do not push it away because you fear it will not last. Receive it as a gift. Joy does not mean you have forgotten your struggles. It means your struggles no longer define your entire emotional landscape. You are allowed to celebrate progress. You are allowed to feel hopeful. You are allowed to enjoy this season without scanning for danger. My beloved child, the peace I am planting within you creates space for joy to grow. Peace stabilizes your heart, and joy brightens it. Together, they form resilience. The sunrise is already breaking over your life. The faint glow you feel now will expand. The colors will deepen. The light will become stronger. There will still be challenges, but they will not overshadow every good thing. You will learn to hold both realism and delight without losing balance. You are not meant to live in constant heaviness. You were created for joy, and I am restoring it carefully, patiently, faithfully. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to smile. Allow yourself to believe that brighter days are not only possible, they are already beginning. My beloved child, joy is returning, and it will feel like sunlight after a long night. My beloved child, trust the process of healing. I know there are moments when you wish everything would feel completely restored all at once. You want the anxiety gone forever. You want the memories to stop stinging. You want your confidence to be unshakable and your heart to be fully light again. But healing is not a sudden leap. It is a steady unfolding. You have already come so far, even if you cannot see the full distance. There were days when simply getting through the morning felt overwhelming. There were nights when you wondered if calm would ever return. And yet here you are, breathing more steadily, thinking more clearly, standing more firmly than before. This is progress. Healing is often quiet. It does not announce itself loudly. It reveals itself in small changes, in the way you respond differently, in the way you recover more quickly, in the way certain triggers no longer hold the same power. You may still have moments when old feelings surface unexpectedly. Do not be discouraged when that happens. A wave returning does not mean the tide has not changed. It simply means healing moves in layers. Imagine a deep wound slowly closing. The surface may appear healed, but underneath, tissue continues to strengthen. If you pressed on it too quickly, it might feel tender. That tenderness does not mean failure. It means restoration is still taking place. My beloved child, do not rush yourself. You are not on a deadline. There is no clock counting down your recovery. You are allowed to move at the pace of grace. Sometimes you compare your healing to someone else's journey. You wonder why they seem to have moved on faster. But you are not them. Your experiences were unique. Your heart is unique. Your process will be unique as well. Trust my craftsmanship in your life. Think of a sculptor carefully shaping a masterpiece. Each detail requires patience. Each curve is intentional. If the sculptor hurried, the final form would be compromised. Precision takes time. I am shaping you with precision. Every lesson learned, every boundary set, every new pattern practiced, these are chisels shaping your character. Even when progress feels slow, it is meaningful. You may not wake up one morning completely transformed. Instead, you will look back months from now and realize how much has shifted. You will notice how your reactions changed, how your fears softened, how your confidence strengthened. Healing often reveals itself in hindsight. My beloved child, be gentle with yourself in the process. If you stumble emotionally, do not condemn yourself. If you feel discouraged on certain days, do not assume you are back at the beginning. Growth is not a straight line. It is a journey with bends, pauses, and gradual climbs. What matters is that you are moving forward. The peace I am bringing to your heart today is not fragile. It is layered. It is being woven into your daily habits, your thought patterns, your relationships, your decisions. Each day you choose trust, healing deepens. Each day you release control, freedom increases. Each day you rest in my presence, strength builds. You are not stuck in the past. You are not doomed to repeat old cycles. You are not broken beyond repair. You are in process. And process is beautiful when guided by love. My beloved child, celebrate small victories. Celebrate calm responses. Celebrate moments when you handle something differently than you would have before. These are signs of growth. You do not need dramatic breakthroughs to validate your journey. The quiet consistency of daily progress is enough. Trust that what feels slow now is building something lasting. Trust that what feels unfinished now is becoming strong. Trust that I am not rushing your story. You are being restored carefully, not carelessly. And when healing is complete in its appointed time, you will stand not only recovered, but renewed. My beloved child, trust the process. I am with you in every step, and I will not abandon the work I have begun in you. My beloved child, My peace within you will influence others. You may not realize it yet, but what I am doing inside your heart is not only for you. The calm you are learning, the steadiness you are growing into, the trust you are practicing, it will ripple outward in ways you cannot fully see. Peace is contagious. When you walk into a room without anxiety controlling you, others feel it. When you respond to conflict without escalating it, others notice. When you choose patience instead of panic, your presence becomes a quiet shelter. You are becoming that shelter. There were seasons when you felt like you were the one always needing support. You leaned on others. You sought reassurance. You asked for guidance. And there is no shame in that. Those seasons strengthened you. But now, something is shifting. Because you are anchored, you will anchor others. Imagine a harbor during a storm. Boats come seeking refuge. They cannot calm the storm themselves, but they can rest safely within the harbor's protection. My peace in you is becoming like that harbor. People will come to you without always knowing why. They will feel safe speaking openly. They will feel steadier in your presence. They will borrow courage from your calm. Not because you have all the answers, but because you carry me. My beloved child, your growth has purpose beyond your own comfort. When someone is overwhelmed, your steady voice will remind them that storms pass. When someone is anxious about tomorrow, your trust will speak louder than fear. When someone feels ashamed of their past, your compassion will offer hope. You will not have to preach loudly. You will not need dramatic words. Your peace will speak. Think of a candle in a dark room. It does not argue with the darkness. It simply shines. The darkness cannot overpower it. Even a small flame changes the atmosphere. You are becoming that flame. The peace I am planting in your heart is not fragile. It is strong enough to light the path for others. It is resilient enough to remain steady even when others around you are unsettled. This does not mean you must carry everyone's burdens. It does not mean you are responsible for fixing their lives. You are not their savior, but you can be a reflection of my love. When you listen patiently, you reflect me. When you speak gently, you reflect me. When you choose forgiveness, you reflect me. And when you remain calm in the face of stress, you reflect me. My beloved child, there will be moments when someone looks at you and says, "How are you so peaceful?" That question will be your opportunity. Not to boast, but to testify. Not to glorify yourself, but to share what I have done within you. Your journey through anxiety, healing, and growth will not be wasted. Your story will become medicine for someone else. The nights you cried, the days you struggled, the battles you fought internally, they will give you empathy. You will understand pain without judgment. You will offer hope without minimizing someone's struggle. That is powerful. Do not underestimate how your calm presence can change a tense environment. Do not underestimate how your steady trust can reassure a fearful heart. Do not underestimate how your quiet faith can inspire someone who is doubting. My beloved child, peace is not meant to be hidden. It is meant to shine. As you continue to grow, you will notice that you are less reactive and more reflective. Others will feel safe bringing their worries to you. And instead of absorbing their chaos, you will offer them steadiness. Because your foundation is secure. The work I am doing inside you is not only for private comfort. It is preparation for public impact. You are becoming a living example of what it means to trust me through uncertainty. You are becoming proof that healing is possible. You are becoming a reminder that storms do not last forever. My beloved child, my peace in you will influence more lives than you know. Simply remain rooted. Remain humble. Remain connected to me. And allow your calm to speak. The world does not need more noise. It needs more steady hearts. And you are becoming one of them. My beloved child, you are becoming unshakable. Not because life has stopped testing you. Not because challenges have disappeared. But because your foundation has changed. There was a time when small disruptions felt enormous. A delayed message could stir anxiety. A change of plans could create frustration. A single negative comment could overshadow 10 affirmations. You felt tossed by circumstances, as though your stability depended on everything going smoothly. But look at you now. You still feel. You still care. You still notice when something shifts. Yet you do not crumble the way you once did. You do not spiral as quickly. You do not assume disaster as easily. You pause. You breathe. You trust. That is strength. Imagine a building constructed on unstable ground. Every tremor shakes it. Every storm rattles its walls. But when the foundation is reinforced with solid stone, the same winds that once threatened it now pass without causing damage. My beloved child, I have been reinforcing your foundation. Through every lesson, every delay, every moment you chose faith over fear, your roots have gone deeper. You are not standing on shifting sand anymore. You are anchored in my promises. Being unshakable does not mean you are rigid. It does not mean you are emotionless. It means you are steady. When conflict arises, you no longer react from insecurity. When uncertainty appears, you do not assume the worst. When pressure builds, you do not immediately doubt your worth. You remain centered. This transformation did not happen overnight. It was built quietly. Each time you refused to let anxiety dictate your decisions, you strengthened your core. Each time you responded with patience instead of panic, you fortified your spirit. You are not who you were at the beginning of this journey. You are calmer. You are wiser. You are more grounded. And most importantly, you are more aware of my presence in every circumstance. My beloved child, unshakable does not mean untouched by life. It means deeply rooted in me. Storms may still come. Winds may still blow. Opinions may still swirl around you. But your identity is no longer dependent on external approval. Your security is no longer tied to perfect outcomes. Your peace is no longer fragile. You are learning that circumstances change, but I do not. That realization is powerful. Think of a mountain rising above shifting clouds. The weather around it may change constantly. Fog may cover its peak. Rain may fall against its sides. Snow may blanket it. But the mountain remains. You are becoming like that mountain. Stable. Steady. Grounded. There will be moments when someone tries to shake your confidence. There will be seasons when unexpected change tries to disturb your calm. But you will notice something different now. Instead of reacting instantly, you will feel a steady awareness beneath the surface. That awareness is my peace. You are no longer defined by your reactions. You are defined by your trust. And trust makes you strong. My beloved child, this unshakable spirit is not pride. It is assurance. It is knowing who you are and whose you are. It is understanding that even if things around you shift, your worth does not. You are loved consistently. You are guided intentionally. You are held securely. That truth forms an inner stability that cannot easily be moved. As you continue walking forward, you will encounter new opportunities and new challenges. But you will not approach them with the same fear as before. You will carry quiet confidence. You will carry calm clarity. You will no longer live braced for impact. You will live rooted in trust. My beloved child, you are becoming unshakable not because life has become easy, but because your heart has become anchored. Anchored in truth. Anchored in love. Anchored in me. And when you are anchored in me, nothing can truly uproot you. Stand firm. Walk forward. Remain steady. You are stronger than you know. And the peace I have planted in you is now your foundation. My beloved child, this is a new season of stillness. You have walked through noise. You have endured pressure. You have carried burdens that once felt unbearable. But now, you are stepping into something different. Not a season without responsibility. Not a life without movement. But a season where your inner world is no longer chaotic. Stillness does not mean inactivity. It means stability. There was a time when your days felt rushed and your nights felt restless. Your mind was always anticipating the next challenge. Your heart was always preparing for the next disappointment. You lived in a subtle state of tension, even when nothing obvious was wrong. But that tension is loosening. You are no longer constantly scanning for danger. You are no longer rehearsing worst-case scenarios. You are no longer living as if peace could vanish at any moment. Instead, you are settling. Imagine a lake after a storm has passed. At first, the water continues to ripple. The surface is unsettled. But gradually, the waves soften. The reflections become clear again. The sky mirrors perfectly in the water's calm. That is your heart now. The ripples are fading. Clarity is returning. The season of stillness is not accidental. It is intentional. I have led you through growth so that you could arrive here, not exhausted, but strengthened. Not fearful, but trusting. My beloved child, do not rush out of this season. Sometimes when calm finally arrives, you become uncomfortable because chaos feels familiar. You may feel tempted to create urgency where there is none. You may look for problems to solve simply because stillness feels unfamiliar. But learn to embrace this quiet. Stillness is where you regain perspective. Stillness is where creativity returns. Stillness is where joy deepens. You have earned this season through perseverance, through tears, through patience, through faith. Now let your soul rest in it. This does not mean you will never face challenges again. Life continues to move. Responsibilities remain. But internally, you are different. The stillness inside you will remain even when external circumstances shift. You are not the same person who once felt overwhelmed by every change. You are anchored. You are steady. You are grounded. In this new season, decisions will feel clearer. You will not make choices from fear. You will not act out of urgency alone. You will move thoughtfully, guided by peace instead of pressure. This is maturity. My beloved child, stillness allows you to hear me more clearly. When your thoughts are not racing, my guidance becomes easier to recognize. When your emotions are not overwhelming you, discernment grows sharper. You will begin to know a subtle direction, a gentle nudge toward something new, a quiet reassurance to remain where you are, a calm confidence about a step forward. This season is preparation for what lies ahead. You cannot hear well in chaos. You cannot see clearly through constant agitation. But in stillness a vision sharpens. Do not mistake this calm for stagnation. You are not stuck. You are being positioned. Just as a field must rest after harvest before it produces again, your soul needed this restoration. And from this place of stillness, new growth will come, healthier, stronger, more sustainable. My beloved child, you are entering a season where you will no longer chase peace. You will live from it. Where you will no longer beg for clarity. You will recognize it. Where you will no longer fear silence. You will cherish it. This is a gift. Receive it fully. Walk through your days without unnecessary urgency. Allow space between your thoughts. Protect your calm as something valuable. Because it is. The peace I have planted in you is no longer fragile. It has matured into steady stillness. And from this stillness, you will move forward wisely. This is your new season. A season of grounded trust. A season of quiet strength. A season where your heart rests deeply in me. Remain here. Let stillness shape you. Let peace guide you. You are ready for what comes next. My beloved child, hold on to this promise. There will be days ahead when the memory of this peace feels distant. Moments when pressure rises unexpectedly. Conversations that stir emotion. News that shakes your routine. Life does not stop moving simply because you have grown stronger. But what I have placed within you will remain. Hold on to that truth. Peace is not fragile blast that chatters at the first impact. It is woven into your spirit now. It is part of your foundation. And even when emotions fluctuate, the core of you remains steady. You may wake up one morning feeling unsettled again. Old thoughts may attempt to return. Familiar fears may knock at your door. When that happens, do not panic. Do not assume you have lost everything you gained. Growth is not erased by one difficult moment. My beloved child, remember who you are now. You are not the same person who once lived in constant anxiety. You are not the same heart that once braced for disaster at every turn. You are not the same mind that believed every fearful thought. You have changed. And that change is lasting. Think of a house that has been renovated from the inside out. The structure is reinforced. The wiring is updated. The foundation is strengthened. Even if storms hit the exterior, the interior remains secure. That is what has happened within you. I have renovated your inner world. When pressure comes, return to what you have learned. Pause. Refuse to react instantly. Speak truth to yourself gently. Remember that you are held. Remember that you are guided. Peace is not the absence of challenge. It is the presence of trust. There may be seasons when circumstances feel uncertain again. Plans may shift. Relationship may change. Responsibilities may increase. But the calm I have planted in you does not depend on everything staying predictable. It depends on me. And I do not change. My beloved child, you will face moments that test this growth. That is not a threat. It is an opportunity. Each time you respond with steadiness instead of fear, your peace strengthens. Each time you choose trust over control, your roots deepen. Do not be discouraged by occasional waves. Even the calmest ocean has movement. What matters is that you are no longer drowning. Hold on to the promise that I am with you in every season. Not only when you feel peaceful, not only when you feel confident, but also when doubt tries to whisper again. When that whisper comes, answer it calmly. I have been here before. I am stronger now. I am not alone. You are not fragile anymore. You are resilient. And resilience is built through remembering. Remember how far you have come. Remember the nights you survived. Remember the fears you overcame. Remember the tears that turned into growth. These memories are not chains. They are evidence of transformation. My beloved child, the peace I have given you is not temporary relief. It is a covenant of care. It is a steady assurance that no matter what unfolds around you, you are anchored. Anchor yourself daily in my presence. Return to stillness when life grows loud. Return to breathe when your thoughts race. Return to trust when uncertainty appears. These are not complicated steps. They are simple, powerful reminders of who holds your life. You are not responsible for predicting every future outcome. You are responsible for staying rooted in me. And when you do, peace remains. Hold on to this promise. You will not go backward into chaos. You may face new challenges, but you will meet them with new strength. You may encounter unfamiliar paths, but you will walk them with steady feet. You may feel moments of doubt, but they will not control you, because I am with you, always. My beloved child, remember this peace. Protect it. Return to it. Trust it. It is not fading. It is becoming your constant companion. And wherever you go from here, it will go with you. My beloved child, receive this final blessing over your heart. You began this journey feeling the weight of unrest, the noise of fear, the ache of uncertainty. You carried burdens that were too heavy. You questioned your strength. You wondered if peace was something meant for other people, but not for you. But look at you now. You have laid down what was never yours to carry. You have released shame from the past. You have softened the inner critic. You have allowed me to calm your mind, heal your wounds, strengthen your core, and restore your joy. You have learned to breathe again. You have learned to rest. You have learned to trust. Peace is no longer distant from you. It lives within you. You are no longer ruled by the storm. You are anchored in stillness. You are no longer chasing stability. You are walking in it. You are no longer defined by fear. You are defined by my love. My beloved child, let this truth seal itself over your heart. You are safe. You are guided. And you are deeply cherished. Whatever tomorrow holds, you will meet it with calm courage. Whatever challenge arises, you will stand steady. Whatever change comes, you will not face it alone. I go before you. I walk beside you. I remain within you. May your mind stay guarded by truth. May your heart remain soft but strong. May your nights be restful and your mornings filled with quiet confidence. May joy continue to rise gently within you like sunlight after rain. And when life grows loud again, may you remember this sacred stillness and return to it. You are not fragile. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are my beloved child. And now, as this message settles into your spirit, I speak to you about the greater harvest unfolding beyond your own heart. The peace you have received is not meant to stop here. There are weary souls searching for this same comfort, and when you support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link placed in the description and shown in the QR code, you are sowing living seeds into their lives. I declare over you the promise that when you give, it is given back to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing, because generosity unlocks rivers of blessing. When you feel the stirring within you, know that it is me inviting you to partner in spreading light where darkness tries to linger. Do not hesitate in obedience, for every seed released becomes peace planted in another anxious heart. Your support becomes oil that keeps this lamp burning for countless unseen listeners. I bless every willing hand and every generous heart. I multiply what you sow and establish your house in provision and favor. Stand with me in this work of restoration. Act boldly, give faithfully, and let your generosity echo the peace you now carry. My beloved child, I seal this blessing over you. Walk forward in calm assurance. Live in steady trust. Carry my peace wherever you go. Amen.